Them guys here for Boku No Hero Academia or My Hero Academia chapter 115 titled Unleashed. And this was a very interesting chapter. And also, I like the direction that Koei, like the mangaka, took on this because I honestly woke up and I'm like, who is this guy? And the more he talked, the more I'm interested to find out, like, is he a villain? Like, what is he doing? Like, what's his role? And it was just a really, it was a really well written chapter. So pretty much the chapter focuses, we find out at the end that this guy who we're like seeing go through life, talking about the state of the world, the city, is basically one of the League of Villain members, Jin Bubiagawara. Yeah, he's the one with the mask, kind of like Deadpool's mask, kind of, but more like darker shade. And basically, he like made a clone of himself. And at first, we were originally thought it was be a liquid clone. He was just like he made some sort of like water and became like he made through liquids to make another clone because we saw him make a clone and then the clone died. It dispersed the liquid. Anyways, that we found out that's maybe a little more simpler than that. In this chapter, we go through Jin's life, and he wakes up, and first thing we notice is something a little off about him. He has the stitches up there, which kind of, that might be a reason why he wears a mask to begin with. But then we go through life. He's kind of explaining what the state is now, that Endeavor is now #1 villain, and a lot of people feel like weary. They don't feel safe. They feel something like they feel like. They don't feel like the world is safe or it can be protected. They don't really like view Endeavor as a #1 villain. And he just explained this data that now the villains, they're more problem, they're more maniacs out there, and they're doing crazy stuff. And some of the heroes can't really basically the villains are taking like advantage of the situation. Endeavor's, most people don't see him as a suitable replacement All Might. Again, we know the world is changing. All Might is retirement. He's lost his power for All for One. So we know the world is changing, and he explained it very well done in this chapter. And I really did enjoy to see more of that. We moved great shift away from the hero licensing and more to more like kind of world build, not kind of like world shifting, like from the world to now we're shifting more. I really did enjoy that. And I want to touch upon this first before we get in the big chunk of like what I really like this chapter. So, anyways, before we start discussing Jin, who I really want to discuss, we see Dabai, we see him like doing some villainous thing with the fire, and we get him Jin talking to the Brooker, yeah, and basically he confirms that Tomorrow wants to reassemble the League of Villains. Something's up. Like something he wants to initiate plan. We know that Toga's got Deku's blood. So something's going on there. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, honestly, the League of Villains with Deku's blood infiltrate All Might and then kill him. Maybe. Just maybe. So there's that. More towards Jin now. Jin, we learn this chapter, is a very interesting character who has a very dark past. Throughout this chapter, we see like these dark bubble texts, and we see like Jin. I'm gonna try to say the last name again. Bubiagawara. Let's go with Jin. We see him contradicting himself, or like, what I think it is honestly is a alter personality, second personality. Kind of like we learn that his step backs were a little weird and dark, but I honestly like. It seems like it's very like alter ego. There's one side who's very calm, and there's one side who's like, no, wrong. You're wrong. This is wrong. I don't care. We have to do our own thing. It's kind of like one's peaceful, one's very aggressive. And we learn, first things first, we learn like his quirk. It's not a liquid cloning. It's more simple. It's more doubling. And that's what scares me. It's that he can double anything. It doesn't seem like very like aggressive or a villain quirk like mind control or something like that, but it's doubling, and it seems it seems a simpler quirk, the more dangerous it can be. And doubly can it seems honestly, it just scares me the potential that the mangaka Hishioki, I think that's the name is, what he can use and expand like to create like in battle or something like that, or like create a uproar in the city. It's very interesting. I wonder if he can double other people and then take control of the clones. Like, you know what I mean? Now we have Toga, where they can take over, like, be like Deku with the blood, and now maybe he can use the power of the clones, like clone Deku, clone one of the like heroes, and control that clone of the hero. That'd be very interesting. I'm not really sure where that's gonna go, but moving on, we learned the backstory, and this is this is dark, man. This is like Shadow Clones gone wrong. Basically, he doubled himself so much for so long that at one point the clones didn't know if they were real or if they were fake. And at one point, it got so bad that they were fighting for like who is the real one. And we learned basically that they all killed each other. And we see like where he got a scar on the forehead, it's all bleeding down. And he says to himself, that even now he does not know if he was the original or a clone. And that ties into like the alter ego like foreshadowing we kind of saw during this chapter. And that's really insane. Could you imagine like there's 20 of you and you don't know who is real and you're all fighting and you basically are killing each other? Yourself? Like his mind is it's fucked up in here. Something's up in here. And we kind of see him cope with that when it's like all the personality is like kind of breaking through, and we see him put on the mask, and we don't see those like dark text bubbles and that alter ego come back, and he's I guess Jin Bubiagawara. I think that's like a stage name as well. I don't think Jin Bubiagawara is his is his actual name. So pretty much Jin seems to be a very interesting character, and I would love to see him have a bigger role in Boku No Hero Academia, because he seems like he can snap and just be corrupt and evil, truly. So, anyways, there's some small stuff. We see some like Doctor Evil gang. They have a doctor mask, and they're like, oh, everyone's sick, and then they steal the safe. Something's up with that. I'm not really sure if they're gonna play a role. Maybe they're just filler characters of the chapter. That'd be cool if we get them a little a short arc with them. Maybe whatever. Maybe like Deku and class UA High will be able to use their quirks for the first time. Maybe. And the chapter ends off. We see All Might talking to One for All, and he says, "Let's settle this once for all." And that's the end of the chapter. It seems like we're focusing more on League of Villains now. We have last chapter Toga, then we have Jin, and then we have Debai show up here tomorrow, coming in. He says, want League of Villains to gather up. We see the broker, and then the chapter ends off in a very, definitely, they were just kind of skipped to it. We see All Might in the jail. He's still in his hero costume, very weird. And One for All is like, oh, are they supposed to be teaching right now? And I'm like, no. I'm here now to settle this. So it seems maybe we might get a backstory next chapter. Maybe. Definitely would like one, but I can see it being a backstory next chapter. Or who knows? Maybe One for All is planning this, and this is where the League of Villains come in and just trap and counterattack. Not counterattack. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what it word, but when they just all gang up on him and surprise attack, I guess. Surprise attack on All Might. Maybe that's it. So maybe backstory. Maybe we learn the truth. Maybe we get a surprise attack on All Might. That'd be very interesting. Anyways, this has been a very good, honestly, really interesting chapter. So I'm really excited for next week. So this is Epic, guys. I will see you next week.